Inside the mind of a teenage killer, what really happened in room 214-inch? Blood splattered across the whiteboard of room 214, dripping slowly down the side where the class rules used to be written in bright red marker, now mixed with something darker. A single desk was overturned, a chair lay broken, and a boy stood in the middle of the chaos, his hands trembling, his chest rising and falling fast. In those hands was the object that had just changed everything, a metal baseball bat slick with red. His eyes were wide, not with anger anymore, but disbelief. He whispered almost to himself, "I didn't mean to." Screams echoed from the hallway. Students from nearby rooms pressed against the glass window of the classroom door, their faces pale. No one dared to go in. The teacher's body was still, half slumped against the desk. The boy took a step back, still shaking, and the bat slipped from his hands with a loud clang that made everyone jump. He looked down at what he had done, and for a moment, time froze. Outside, the school alarm started to blare. That was the moment everything changed for Ridgeway High School. But what no one knew yet was why. Why did 17-year-old Noah Carter, quiet honor student and cross-country runner, attack his teacher in front of his classmates? What could drive a teenager everyone thought they knew to do something like that in room 214? Only later would investigators uncover the dark trail that led to that day, the bullying, the secrets, and the anger no one saw coming. 3 weeks earlier, the story began much more quietly. Ridgeway High was the kind of place people described as safe. It sat at the edge of a small town in Illinois, surrounded by trees that turned gold every fall. Students rushed through its hallways every morning, half asleep, coffee in hand, earbuds in. Noah Carter blended into the crowd like any other kid. He was polite, always turned in his homework, and never got into trouble. Teachers liked him. Other students, not so much. He wasn't exactly popular. He kept to himself most of the time, sitting alone at lunch, sketching in his notebook. Some called him Ghost Boy because he was always there, but hardly ever spoke. The only person who really noticed him was Ethan, the star of the basketball team. But Ethan didn't notice Noah in a good way. It started small, teasing in the hallway, little jokes that everyone laughed at. "Hey, Carter, you ever talk to anyone besides your pencil?" But then it got worse. Ethan and his friends started posting photos of Noah online, making fun of his clothes, his quietness. The comments were cruel, and people shared them for laughs. Noah stopped looking at his phone after that. At home, things weren't better. His mom worked 2 jobs after his dad left, and most nights, Noah ate dinner alone. He tried to tell her he was fine, he always did, but sometimes she'd find him staring blankly at the wall, his food untouched. "You sure everything's okay, baby?" she'd ask. He'd nod, force a smile, and say, "Yeah, ma'am, just tired." The breaking point came one cold Thursday in October. In history class, room 214, Mr. Thompson, his teacher, paired students for a group project. Noah ended up with Ethan. The class laughed quietly. "Guess I'm stuck with the ghost," Ethan whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. Mr. Thompson tried to calm the room, but he didn't see the anger that flashed across Noah's face for a split second before vanishing. That afternoon, during gym, Ethan accidentally tripped Noah in front of everyone. His notebook spilled open, pages flying, revealing a sketch of a dark room, a door marked 214, and someone standing inside. "What's this, Carter? Planning your horror movie?" Ethan laughed. The coach didn't see what happened next, the way Noah's fists clenched, or the quiet promise he made to himself as he picked up his papers. That night, Noah couldn't sleep. His mind replayed every laugh, every shove, every cruel word. He opened his laptop and typed something into his notes app. "They'll see. One day, they'll all see." Then he closed it, his hand shaking, and whispered to the darkness, "I just want it to stop." The next day was quiet. Too quiet. Noah went through the motions, class, lunch, silence. But there was something different in his eyes, like a storm forming just beneath the surface. When the final bell rang, he didn't go straight home. He stayed behind, walking slowly toward room 214, his backpack heavier than usual. Inside, Mr. Thompson was still grading papers. He looked up and smiled when Noah entered. "Hey Noah, need help with the project?" Noah nodded, closing the door behind him. That's when the camera in the hallway caught the first sound, a loud crash, then shouting, and then silence. What happened in those next 3 minutes would haunt Ridgeway High forever. And when the door finally opened again, the world would learn what really happened in room 214. The police arrived at Ridgeway High School within minutes, but for everyone inside, it felt like hours. Sirens blared outside, flashing lights painted the halls red and blue. Teachers hurried students into classrooms, locking doors and whispering for them to stay quiet. Rumors spread fast, someone's hurt. It's a fight. Noah did what? But no one really knew what had happened in room 214. When officers finally entered the classroom, the scene stunned even the most experienced among them. Mr. Thompson lay unconscious but alive, barely breathing. His head was bleeding, his glasses cracked on the floor. The baseball bat, school property from the gym, was found beside him. And Noah Carter was sitting against the far wall, his knees pulled up, his eyes empty. He didn't resist when they handcuffed him. He just whispered, "It wasn't supposed to go like this." Outside, the entire school had gathered in the parking lot. Some students were crying, others filming with shaky hands. The principal tried to control the crowd, but chaos had already taken over. When the paramedics rolled out the stretcher covered in blood, silence fell. Everyone knew it was real now. Room 214 would never be just a classroom again. At the police station, detectives took turns questioning Noah. At first, he didn't speak. He just stared at the wall, expressionless. When they asked him why he did it, he finally said, "He laughed at me." The detective frowned. "Your teacher?" Noah shook his head slowly. "No, Ethan." They all did. The detectives exchanged looks. They'd seen teenage anger before, but there was something else in Noah's tone. Something cold, detached, almost rehearsed. When they pressed for more, Noah leaned forward and said quietly, "You wouldn't understand. No one ever does." Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Mr. Thompson fought for his life. The blow had fractured his skull, but doctors managed to stabilize him. The news spread across town like wildfire, teacher attacked by student. Every TV channel, every social media page, every neighbor had something to say. Parents pulled their kids from school, demanding answers. But the more investigators dug into Noah's life, the stranger it got. His laptop revealed dozens of journal entries filled with anger and confusion. Some pages read like confessions, others like cries for help. "I can't make it stop," one line said. Another read, "No one sees me unless I break something." When police searched his room, they found sketches of the school, room 214 circled over and over. On one paper, he had drawn a figure standing over another with a caption beneath, "Balance." Detective Morgan, a veteran officer who'd seen everything from gang crimes to family murders, felt unsettled. "This isn't just a kid snapping," he said to his partner. "Something built up for a long time." At school, Ethan tried to act unaffected, but guilt followed him everywhere. People whispered when he walked by, "That's the guy who bullied Noah." His friends stopped texting as much. One afternoon, he found a note in his locker. It wasn't signed, but the handwriting was familiar, jagged and tight. It said, "You're next." He froze. The hallway suddenly felt smaller, quieter. He looked around, half expecting to see Noah, but Noah was still in custody. Or so he thought. Across town, Noah's mother sat in her car outside the police station, hands gripping the steering wheel. Tears streamed down her face. She kept replaying her last conversation with her son that morning. He'd kissed her cheek before school and said, "Don't worry, Mom. Today will be different." Detectives believed the attack was planned, at least partly, but they couldn't find any message, manifesto, or online post to prove it. It was like Noah had been planning it entirely inside his head. When they sent him for psychiatric evaluation, doctors noted something chilling. Noah showed no emotion when talking about the attack, but when they asked about Ethan, his eyes flickered with something sharp, not hatred exactly, but satisfaction. "He got to watch," Noah said softly. "He saw what happens when you laugh too long." The doctor leaned forward. "What do you mean, Noah? What did Ethan see?" Noah looked up, a faint smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. He saw what I'm capable of. That night, Ridgeway High went silent. The janitors refused to clean room 214. The principal taped it shut and moved classes elsewhere. But at 2 a.m., the motion sensor in that hallway went off. Security cameras caught movement. A figure standing at the door of room 214 for just a few seconds before disappearing into the dark. The next morning, police were called again, because someone had broken into the school and written something across the whiteboard of room 214, in red ink, almost like blood. It read, "He's not finished." Detective Morgan stood in front of the whiteboard of room 214, staring at the words written in red. "He's not finished." The handwriting looked rushed, uneven, almost as if the person who wrote it had been trembling. The smell of dry erase markers still hung in the air, but the janitor swore no one had entered the school that night. The security footage was grainy, distorted by static, but it clearly showed a figure, tall, hooded, moving carefully down the hall. It couldn't have been Noah. He was still locked up in juvenile detention, under 24-hour watch. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. By morning, the whole town was in a panic. Parents refused to send their kids to school, and Ridgeway High was closed for security evaluation. Reporters crowded the parking lot, their cameras pointed toward the front gate. The story had become national news now. The teen killer from room 214. Inside the police station, Detective Morgan sat across from Noah again. The boy looked thinner, his eyes darker, but his calm scared Morgan the most. "Noah," he began, sliding a photo across the table, "this was found in room 214 last night. You know anything about it?" Noah stared at the picture of the words on the whiteboard. His lips twitched slightly, not quite a smile, not quite a frown. "I told you," he said softly. "It's not finished." Morgan leaned forward. "What's not finished?" Noah looked up, his voice low but steady. "The lesson." A chill ran through the room. The detective watched him carefully, searching for any sign that the boy was bluffing, but Noah's eyes were distant, somewhere far beyond that cold interrogation room. "Someone's helping you, aren't they?" Morgan asked. Noah didn't answer. Instead, he whispered something that made the detective's heart pound. "You think I'm the only one?" That afternoon, while the police combed through the school again, Ethan sat in his bedroom staring at his phone. He hadn't been to school since the attack. The online messages were relentless. You drove him to it. "You're next." He'd stopped sleeping, stopped eating. But the worst part was the nightmares. Every night, he dreamed of room 214, the whiteboard, the sound of the bat hitting the floor, Noah's wide eyes. A knock came at the door, snapping him out of his thoughts. "Ethan." It was his mother. "Honey, there's a detective here to see you." Ethan froze. His mind raced. He wasn't ready to talk about it again, but when he walked downstairs, Detective Morgan was standing in the living room, holding a small brown envelope. "We found this in your locker," he said. "Recognize it?" Ethan took it with shaking hands. Inside was a folded sheet of paper. On it was a sketch, room 214 again, but this time, two figures were drawn. One was standing, the other was kneeling. Beneath it were the words, "I see you." Ethan's knees went weak. "He's trying to scare me," he said, his voice cracking. "He's locked up, right?" Morgan's jaw tightened. "We're doing everything we can." But deep down, he wasn't sure. That night, a storm rolled through Ridgeway. Thunder shook the windows, and rain poured down in sheets. At the detention center, Noah lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling. A guard walked past his cell and paused. "Lights out, Carter," he said. Noah didn't move. The guard sighed and kept walking. A few minutes later, a soft click echoed in the hall. The camera feed flickered. One by one, the hallway lights blinked out until only darkness remained. By the time morning came, Noah Carter's cell was empty. The town erupted in fear. The news flashed. Teen killer escapes from custody. Helicopters flew over Ridgeway High as police cars blocked every road leading out of town. But there was no sign of him. No broken locks, no footprints, nothing. It was as if he'd vanished. That evening, Detective Morgan sat in his car outside Ethan's house, watching, waiting. He had a gut feeling that if Noah was going anywhere, It would be there. The rain had stopped, but the sky was still heavy and gray. Suddenly, his radio crackled. "Morgan, you need to get to the school right now. There's movement on the cameras again. Room 214. Morgan's heart raced as he sped toward Ridgeway High. When he entered the building, the halls were silent except for the faint hum of the lights. He reached room 214 and pushed the door open slowly. The classroom looked untouched, except for one thing. On the teacher's desk was a single notebook, open to the first page. Written neatly across the top in Noah's handwriting were the words, "The story isn't over." And beneath it, in fresh black ink, "Tonight, it continues." Morgan's pulse quickened. He turned toward the window and froze. Across the parking lot, in the glow of a streetlight, stood a figure in a gray hoodie. He was staring directly at the window of room 214. Even from that distance, Morgan could see the faint outline of a smile. Before he could react, the figure turned and disappeared into the darkness. And that's when the detective's phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. It said, "Check Ethan's house." Morgan bolted for his car. By the time he arrived at the Carter residence, the front door was open. Rain blew inside. The living room light flickered. On the floor near the stairs lay Ethan's phone. Its screen cracked. The last thing recorded on it was a single, shaky video, just 5 seconds long. It showed the front door swinging open and a voice whispering from behind the camera. "Room 214 isn't finished.